when you think about the ways in which people communicate today, we use that word communicate, but we usually talk about social communication technology. Mm-hmm. People, by and large, are now communicating not through the body, not through that original symbol, mm-hmm. but through another material device, right? Through their technology. Again, it is a human thing to communicate through physical media, but as we get more and more removed from the body, mm-hmm. our communication and our ability really to make our interior dimensions present to the other, it becomes compromised, right? We know it's quite possible to sort of put out a false identity, in your social media profile, right? And we even use the term friends about people that aren't really our friends. They don't know us, right? When you have a physical, live, in-person conversation with someone, mm-hmm. it's unscripted, right? You're vulnerable. You might say something embarrassing or awkward, right? And you don't know what they're going to ask you. You don't know what they're going to reveal to you. So there is this very scary at times vulnerability that we experience before the other. But that's what it's meant to do because you're really open. You have to be yourself. There isn't time to sort of go and be someone else or go, craft a line or look up something witty or let me find a better picture of me that doesn't show that flaw or whatever, right? And so actually it is 100% in the live attentive presence of other bodies mm-hmm. that we actually, whether we like it or not, we reveal our inner dimensions.
Well, and I love how that aspect of it doesn't negate the body either. Like if it's supposed to be a symbol of how you're communicating, it's not just saying that this is me, but at the same time, what you're wearing, how you look, what mannerisms you have, how much focus you give to someone, those are all revealing your inner dimension. So it's affirming the body as something really good, but also not reducing it to the only good thing there.
Absolutely. It absolutely ties in both of those aspects. And one thing that comes to mind, and I hate to keep focusing on the negative, but it's a positive negative. I mentioned shame earlier, yes. right? We see that first sort of mysterious experience of shame in Scripture, right? Adam and Eve go from gazing upon one another naked without shame, mm-hmm. whatever exactly that means, right? What we've interpreted as a perfect communication between the two, to, okay, their relationship with God is broken, right? They distrust God. They actively disobey him. They basically say they believe the devil's suggestion that God is a liar, mm-hmm. and they grasp for that fruit, which will give them total control. They don't need God anymore. So they commit the sin. And the very first manifestation of that sin is they're hiding. They're hiding in the bushes, and they're sort of hiding from one another with leaves. There's a sudden awareness of one another's bodies, as though the body is this sort of separate entity instead of an integral dimension of this larger whole. So what we see from the beginning was that shame was experienced as kind of a desire to hide, right? Whether we're hiding from God, we're hiding certain parts of our body from the other. Shame is experienced as a bodily awareness and a desire to sort of conceal. Mm-hmm. And when you look at ways in which people show that awareness in the world today, whether or not they are committing a sin, or maybe they're sort of feeling at risk of someone else committing a sin, it's always shown in a physical response. Maybe you blush, right? Maybe you've said something that you feel ashamed of, or maybe someone else said something that made you feel embarrassed or undignified, right? We blush. Maybe we break out into a sweat. Maybe if my child, breaks something that he's embarrassed to tell me about, maybe he's hesitant to make eye contact with me. Mm-hmm. Certainly covering up. If somebody barges in on you in a dressing room, oh my goodness, we want to cover up, right? It's an instinctive response. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong by being in the dressing room, but when someone's dignity is at risk, there's this instinctual response to cover up and hide. It's a physical response, and it's good, right? I think it's a good thing, right? And when we say someone is shameless, it means you're not having that instinctual physical response that someone's dignity is at risk here, right? Mm-hmm. And what we see as communication has gone more and more from face-to-face to interaction that's mediated through technology, we see shame disappearing. And I'm not just talking about sort of like the fact that we know the internet over-sexualized, people posting pictures of themselves that, why are you posting that, right? Well, you're not going to blush because you're not in the presence of others who might be seeing you like this, right?
You're not seeing their reaction.
You're not seeing their reaction, right? Or hearing what they're saying, right? And so that's huge. We see that. But even just plain what I'd call rudeness, right? The boldness of it. My sister and I used to joke that in her office where someone might be a little ashamed to ask for another vacation day or maybe to call in sick, you have to face someone and say this thing, right? Oh, if I can just email it, if I can just text it, I'm willing to ask for things or say things that I'm not feeling that physical effect of shame that would come from looking someone in the eye. So we see this in the internet comment boxes, right? Someone will write an article and you see the comments, right? And some people can just say the cruelest and most dismissive and demeaning things to others. They don't have to look them in the face. They don't have to make a defense for what they're thinking, right? It's so much easier to see another human person as an object if you don't have to look them in the eyes, if you don't have to be in their physical presence, right? It's providing this convenient distance where maybe that's a person on the other end. I don't know, right? You just maybe see a name or an icon. And so when you don't experience shame, you begin to treat others in a less than human way. You begin to act in a less than human way, right? Because we lose that sense of the whole, the spiritual, physical dignity of the person. And so what we see is that the more and more that we do not relate to one another in the flesh through live human conversation and presence and having to look at one another, truly the less and less aware of the human person we actually become. So when you lose physical interaction, you start to lose shame. And that is a huge, huge threat to human dignity that we see. We see it happening, and it's something that we lose when we don't have that in the flesh existence. But being in the flesh with another, again, it makes us vulnerable because, as women, we sort of want to be perceived as perfect, physically, and we have this desire, and men certainly, want to, impress, right? And so you have this dynamic where that vulnerability of just being me. I know me might get revealed in and through my physical presence, and maybe I'm afraid of that, or maybe I'm afraid of the other person revealing themselves to me. What if it's too much, right? That giving and receiving, that vulnerability that happens in real human relationships is scary, right? And so in an attempt to control that, we like to have that safe distance of our technology, but what it really does is erode our sense of the other's humanity.
That's so fascinating. I've never actually thought of bodies as a symbol that way, but it totally makes sense that and that's how we all know that that's how you're most physically present to people is when you're in the same room with them. But yeah, it's just having the fact that it's written into our bodies, we are the body soul composite, and there's a reason for that. It's not just who we are. I mean, it is who we are, but it's not. I just lost my train of thought too.
Yeah. No, but it is when you think about it. And what's probably more scary is today you will see people engrossed in their technology where, okay, they may well be connecting with another person on the other side, but they are becoming less and less aware of the persons in their presence.
Well, and that's how God created us. That's how we are. That's how He created us to be present.
So when we see that we're becoming less sensitive to those in our physical presence, particularly women, that's eroding that feminine genius. It does have that power because you'll see it. You'll walk around and you'll see people totally ignoring other people that maybe they're called to have and in other circumstances would have had a spontaneous conversation with, right? Nope, I just have this person I'm relating to and I'm ignoring those. So it is absolutely possible now to sort of be in someone's physical presence, but not to be aware of it because we're drawn to the more abstract communication. And so for women, it can kind of erode that personal awareness, that feminine genius. And for men, it seems to feed into that ability to sort of abstract, block out persons, focus on objects. So it kind of compounds some of the struggles men have, and it erodes some of the gifts that women have. So I think it does different things to the masculine and the feminine gifts and weaknesses. And sadly, none of them are good.